and it's their intrinsic nature. Now, this food basically sounds cool or sounds like. Everybody, thanks for watching. Yes, this is another video on energy. I got a lot of messages and comments about the last video I put out. I can see some people are confused. A lot of people have questions, and it's mainly because, people didn't see the very first video I put out on human energy in the dream world. A lot of people are new to this channel and have not seen that video. But, as I said before, I suggest you watch that video and get a broader understanding of what I'm talking about. I'm going to go through the important parts of that video real quick. Now, before I get into all that, I want to just say something and address something. Like, if you are a person who are, just now getting into this information, then it's going to be tough for you to really start to, comprehend, what we talk about, what I talk about specifically. Just because a person is rolling over and starting to wake up doesn't mean that they are, fully conscious or fully awake. They are just beginning. So, just because you are questioning the Bible and starting to read books, it doesn't mean you are fully conscious. You are fully aware of what's going on. So it's going to be tough for you to really get some of this stuff until you do, further research and really start getting more into this. So, everything is not going to be bang, bang. You're not going to comprehend everything. This is why I do things the way I do it in steps. I know a lot of people want me to just come out and say, what is it? What's going on? What is it? And if you do that, then of course, the answer might not be what you expect. And that answer might cause you to doubt something that could be, completely true and look somewhere else. It's better for you to get it step by step so that you understand and things make sense. So when you come to a piece of information, you already have, a prerequisite of research that you have done and you have heard and seen that makes this new information make sense. So now if you're watching this video, which I consider to be, a little advanced for anybody who's just getting into this stuff, then it's not going to seem right. It's not going to seem, clear to a lot of people, even though I try to make things as clearly as possible, even for the beginner. But understand, everything is not going to be bang, spot on. And a lot of you are still corrupted. You still have TV brains, I call it. A lot of you still think that things are supposed to be the way you see it on TV. A lot of people play video games and you listen to hip hop music and, you have a scattered brain still. You got to learn how to come out of that. Once you become conscious, I recommend that you do play video games and watch movies because it's going to help you determine in the dream world what's real and what's not. So, just understand and realize that everything is not going to be the way you think it should be. I know some people think that energy is electricity and every form of energy should be electric. I know some people think that this whole thing is bogus and it doesn't, make any sense. But this is why I put out the video, the first one I put out, to try to bring this into a more rational realm of understanding. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back and play what's important from the first video I put out so that you get this basic understanding of this and you don't have to go watch the whole video. You can just get the important parts that's going to make sense in this video. Take a look. So now understand, body energy, human energy is not spooky. It's not scary. It is a normal thing that has been proven to exist by science and by medicine. We actually have a biomagnetic field projecting from our heart and from our brain. Cell activity, tissue activity generates an electrical field that can be detected on the surface of the skin. Now, the laws of physics tells us that an electrical current will produce a magnetic field. So that's why we get this field around our heart and around our brain. Now, we experiment with this energy all the time. When a TV is messing up and you grab the antenna, it fixes. We take balloons and we rub it on our hair and poof, you got crazy hair all over the place. You get the balloon to stick to your hair. If you put it on the wall, it sticks to the wall. How does this work? So now understand, every single thing in the universe is made up of atoms. We're talking electrons, protons, and neutrons. You need to know that different materials have different amounts of attraction for electrons. So if you take two different materials and you rub them against each other, one will steal electrons from the other. So when you take a balloon and you rub it up against your hair, it will steal the electrons from your hair, causing your hair to become positively charged. The balloon will be negatively charged, and we know opposites attract in physics. So when you rub it up against your hair, it causes your hair to, stick to it and follow it. And since your hair is positively charged now, they won't stick together no more. They'll be kind of separated for a while. And when you rub that balloon up against the wall, the electrons in the wall will basically move to a different position behind the atom, causing that area on the surface to become positively charged, and you can stick the balloon to it, for a while now. Now it'll stick there for hours if there's no moisture. So this really works in a dry atmosphere, a dry room, because if it's any moisture, the moisture in the air will steal the charge from the balloon. So there's proof positive that we are more than just material beings. We are more than just physical beings. We are, in fact, energetic beings made up of billions and billions of atoms. Now the thing is, this pen is also made up of atoms. So how is it that we can walk and talk and function and this pen cannot? And that is because of consciousness. We are aware of ourselves. This pen is not aware that it exists. It's not aware of itself. So we are aware, we are conscious. But the thing is, are we conscious of our consciousness? Are we conscious of the fact that we are conscious? And what I mean by that is when we examine the subconscious and the conscious, the subconscious and the conscious is totally separate. The subconscious basically takes in all the information, it decodes things, and it sometimes passes that information to the consciousness. So the thing is, you can pick up and learn songs. Your subconscious can learn a song without your conscious even knowing it. So you don't physically sit down and try to write out the words to a song, but next thing you know the words to a song, and you sang in a song, and you didn't actually go and set out to try to learn it. It's because your subconscious picked up on the words, picked up on the song. Now, this is why we mess up a lot of words to songs as well, because we didn't consciously learn the song. We didn't consciously write down the words. And our subconscious told our conscious what we think or what it thinks the word is. So when we actually go and do the research, it's like, oh, that's what that word was. That's what he said. Because we went and did the actual conscious research, if you understand what I'm saying. So when you go to sleep, your subconscious takes over. Your subconscious projects the dream world. You are not conscious of the dream world. You can remember and recall the dream, but you are not conscious within the dream. You don't understand that at that exact moment that you are dreaming, really in reality, in consciousness, you are in the bed sleep. You in the bed, under the cover, wrapped up, balled up, whatever, knocked out. You have no clue that you are dreaming when you are in the dream world, because your subconscious has taken over, and your consciousness and your subconscious is not one yet. That's what meditation is going to come and fix. You are not aware of self yet. This is what this whole thing is about. You have to become controlling of the dream world. You have to control that world. When you control that world, you are a powerful being. That's what you will become. And it is very hard to get to this point. And I'm going to get into this. That's why I'm getting into this thing on a small level so you can understand, so you can build up to this point, because it's going to take you decades to do what I'm talking about. So the whole thing is, if you actually try to write out and draw what downtown looks like, if you try to draw to an exact detail, specification of what your living room looks like, what downtown looks like, what your high school looks like, you won't be able to do it. Yet, when you go to sleep and you enter that dream world, you are in a real world. Your subconscious has projected downtown almost to an exact specification where it seems real. It seems like you are really downtown, or it seems like you're really in that barbershop, or you really are at school. But if you try to do it consciously, you can't. So when we're talking about spirits and when we're talking about souls, we are talking about consciousness. So when you think about consciousness, think about it as like a symbiote attached to the body. And once attached to the body, it becomes like a battery to keep the body charged, because it needs the body to stay here in this physical and material world. So once the body gets, hurt or old or tired, the subconscious will put your body in the dream state, in the dream world, so it can heal it. So when people get like badly damaged, when their body get messed up real bad, they go into a coma first, because the subconscious is desperately trying to heal the body. And when it can't, it will just leave. Now, the reason why the subconscious has to put you to sleep is because consciously, you don't know how to heal yourself. Consciously, you don't know how to restore your energy. When people get tired, they get a cup of coffee. Some people take some kind of pills or do something to give themselves more energy, because naturally they don't know how to recharge. They don't know how to get more energy. So the subconscious has to put you to sleep so it can take over, so it can perform the task of healing you and giving you more energy. So when you wake up, you just, almost like a new person. So the implications are, if we had full control of our subconscious, if our conscious and our subconscious was basically one, and we knew what our subconscious knew, we knew how to tap into that energy to heal ourselves and to give ourselves more energy. If we consciously knew how to do this, then we could basically heal our body and get more energy without having to go to sleep. Now, we need to understand how amazing this is when a body heals itself, when a scar repairs itself. If you take a knife and you slice the couch, it's not going to magically sew itself back together. If you rip a piece of paper, it's not going to fix itself. Now, science and medicine tell us that, when we get a scar, that the cells in our body will basically regenerate that area and repair it. But what's taking place is you have action occurring without you physically doing anything. So when we have a rip or tear in our jeans, we physically sew it back together. But when you get a scar on your arm, you don't physically do anything. It happens. The cells regenerate the necrotic area or the damaged area, and it repairs the skin without anybody touching or moving anything. This happens consciously. Your subconscious heals this whole wound. So, if a plate fly across the room, or if a chair start flying, we would call it magic, or we would say it's some kind of demons or something like that. But since this happens on a microscopic level, we don't realize what's taking place. We don't realize what's going on. But there are things actually moving. There are things actually repairing and replacing other things. There's physical movement taking place without us physically doing anything. Now, if I was to get a knife and slice the arm of a dead man, nothing would happen. That scar would not heal itself. So this is just more proof positive that we are more than just a material physical being. And this is not something that happens normally within our skin. This is proof positive that we have an energetic being within us that is making these things happen. We have a consciousness or a subconscious that is repairing our body and repairing our skin, repairing our organs. So this should give you like a basic understanding of what I'm talking about. Now, in a Voodoo DVD that I just put out, at the end I was talking about how, actors and celebrities say things like, put it out to the universe, or ask the universe, and the universe will give it to you. Or, people talk about the law of attraction, or talking about, getting back what you put out. Now, the whole thing about this is, people ask the question, well, isn't that the same as prayer? Isn't that prayer? And of course, no, it's not the same as prayer. And when you pray, who are you talking to? And of course, people would say, God. Well, do you know that you're talking to God? Does God respond? And of course, not. So, the whole thing is this. It don't matter. And you have to understand this, because a lot of people are trying to wake up and become conscious, but for some reason they cannot leave the Bible alone. They can't leave the little things that go along with the Bible alone. So people always ask the question, well, if the Bible is not real, who do we pray to? And the whole thing is, if there never was a Bible, if nobody ever took you to church or anything like that, you wouldn't be asking the question of who should I pray to? People ask, well, who should I worship? What should I worship? What should I bow down to? And the whole thing is, well, why would you want to bow down to something? If you never went to church If you were never, indoctrinated or brainwashed, you wouldn't be asking the question, who should I pray to or bow down to? So you have to understand that it doesn't matter. And you know this, it doesn't matter who you pray to or how much you pray. Nothing is going to happen. You need to really understand that nothing is going to happen. You are praying. What is that? When you are praying, who are you talking to? You are talking to yourself. So who are you asking for something? You are asking yourself for something. Then what do you do after you ask yourself for something? You go out and get it. So what is the purpose of praying if you're going to just go out and get what you prayed for? So no, this is not the same as putting it out to the universe. And let me give you an example and not get too technical with it of what you have to understand, because you don't know who you're putting this energy out to or who you're talking to when you so-called pray to God. I mean, what is God? What is that? That's a man-made word that you need to understand. Now, let's say I wanted to ask, the creator of Bentley for a car. Whoever's creating Bentleys, I want to ask them for a Bentley. Now, there's no such thing as telephones. There's no such thing as the internet. I have no clue who this person is or people are who are making these Bentleys. I have no clue who's involved with making the cars. All I know is that these cars exist and somebody has to be creating them. So I want one. How do I get in contact with this person who's creating it if I have no clue who or what he, she, or they are? This is my analogy I give you. How can you get in contact with the universal creator, what a being who has the power to give you what you want, if you have no clue who or what they are, by what principle they exist, what laws are they under, what they follow, what rules may exist that hinder you from getting what you're asking for? You have no clue of what's going on. So how can you get your prayers answered? How can you understand what's going on when you can't even make a connection? You can't link to who you're trying to get, your materials from. You have no clue what it is. You just know that these things exist. Money exists. Cars exist. Houses exist. But the source of where they come from, you're trying to bypass that and get it from something that you have no clue what it is, when you yourself can just go out, make the money, and go get it. Think about that. So now, if you understand that everything is energy, we are in essence energetic beings, plain and simple, as I talked about in the video. We are energetic beings. That is a proven fact. You could be in your home and who's in your house. You're in your home. It's just you, it's your mom, and, it's your brother. You can feel them in the house, even though you don't know that you're feeling them in the house. But you can feel my mom is home. Every move that she make in her room, that's my mom in her room. Every time I hear my little brother run up and down the hall or something like that, I know that's my little brother. It's an energy that comes behind that, and you can feel it. It's like a power, but you don't know what it is. You just feel it. It's just normal to you. Now, let's say you in your room and you hear a voice. You hear your aunt's voice downstairs. Immediately after you hear her voice, there's an emotion that comes over you. There's a feeling. You feel her energy. You feel your aunt's energy. It's her. It's a feeling that she lets off when you know that she's there. Now, you may think it's me just being happy, or you just being surprised and happy that she's there, or you being shocked that another person is there. But it's the energy that they let off. And you can feel it as you walk down the hall or down the steps to go see them. And then, of course, when you see them, you're excited and, you feel that it's another energy in the house now. So if you went back upstairs, you would feel that extra energy in the home, even though you won't detect it as energy. It would just be, well, it's another person in the house, but you can feel it, especially when they're talking. Now, you do this now without even knowing it. So when you get to the point where you develop your energy, where you can actually feel it, when you can detect it, then, that's a totally different thing. But you're still feeling it right now, but you don't realize what it is. That's power. That's energy. That's something that happens every day, and you can feel it. So now, again, once you understand what energy is, and that everything has an energy, that you can feel this energy and detect it. The key becomes learning how to manifest this energy. So if I was to say to you, I want you to right now, I want you to feel your mother. I want you to feel the energy that you feel when she's standing next to you and in the same room right now. Without her being here, I want you to feel that same energy. Now, what you can do is you can call up that emotion, that feeling, that energy of her. We do this all the time normally. You might walk in somewhere and you might smell a perfume or cologne that somebody you know wears all the time, that they are attached to that smell. And when you smell it, it'll bring up that emotion. I mean, it's almost the same thing when you are on a telephone with the person, you're talking to them, and you can almost feel like they right there with you. You know, we call it boo loving when you're on the phone with your loved one, somebody you're in a relationship with, and you just curled up and on a couch or in the bed, and you just talking, and you feel some type of way. You feel a love, or you feel the excitement, you know, from that person, and you're just on the phone. This is energy that you feel. You can conjure it up. You know, conjure, that's what it's about. You can bring this energy up. You can manifest it within yourself to feel that. Now, I want you to think about the implications of that if you could, in fact, put that energy out. Now, think about this. What are we? We are energetic beings, right? We are energetic beings. We are inhabiting matter. We are animating and inhabiting matter. We are energy inside of matter. That's what we are. So in this reality, on this planet, our energy is matter. So in essence, everything else is basically the same way that it's on this physical world. So if you can manifest that energy here, then what's going to happen? You'll get the matter. You'll get that matter. But we're talking about something that is way out there. But in essence, when you think about it, in theory, I should say, this is what they speak about. You know, God in the Bible, let there be light. He spoke it into existence. This is what the Bible was trying to tell you. You can speak it. When you see wizards, when they, you know, saying words and, you know, things are happening, they can speak things and make it happen, because this is the power behind it. You should be able to do this in essence. When we're speaking about energy and everything that goes with it. When I talked about in the quantum physics video about how, you know, you go from, you know, quarks to strings and nucleus and cells and everything like that, atoms, I mean, and how everything goes back to vibration. So if energy is controlled or moved by vibration, and this vibration is causing the energy to take form of matter, then in theory, vibration should cause the energy to become what you want it to become. So this goes into the whole cymatics thing, when you see them with the sand, when they're playing the music or they play the certain tones at a certain frequency, it causes vibration and causes the sand to turn into certain patterns, certain shapes. So the theory is, if you tune that frequency the right way, you should be able to control those shapes. This is our reality. This is what it's based on. We're talking about something that is manipulated and controlled by vibration, and it's all energy.